I might be a little long-winded.
That's okay. Come on, Mama.
So
Well,
I'm
we
the
got 30
mom.
minutes now.
I'm the mom. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting my baby. He's still my baby. And yeah, so I'm going to try to get through this without crying, because I'm sure my boys are tired of seeing me cry. Because I've been crying for like the whole year. And Isaiah haven't seen most of it. Kaden, me and Kaden will be in the car like, "Hey, we gonna miss Isaiah. What we gonna do without Isaiah?" And Kaden's like, "Really, Mom? You're crying? Really?" Like,
She's gonna do the same for you too, Kaden.
it's just because Isaiah, like, he's literally like the glue in our family, like in our household. Like anytime we need an answer or need something fixed, or we always go to Isaiah. Like I remember when I worked at DirecTV, Isaiah was like 5 years old, and my daddy couldn't fix the TV. I think he got off the wrong input, and Isaiah fixed it. He was like, "I don't know what he did, but he fixed that TV." So like Trey was saying the other day, we were talking how we've always known he was going to be like an inventor or an engineer or something, because Trey was like, "You don't remember him when he was like 5? He built an airplane out of boxes, a whole bunch of boxes. He built an airplane." I was like, "I don't remember. You don't remember either?"
I remember.
But Trey was like, "No." When I saw that, I was like, "Dude, this little kid just built an airplane." But I remember him taking a lot of stuff apart and then wanting to put it back together and figure out how it was connected in the first place. He made me buy him a computer that he had to put together.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, who does this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then when we would be going to St. Louis to see their dad and their TT and everybody, like, we would stop at this store, this big old candy factory store, and Kaden will go straight to the sports. Like, "Oh, can I get this football, Mama? Can I get this basketball?" And Isaiah's like, "Oh, I want to get this little project." Mark, you remember he had that little project where he had to twist the wires together with a pop can and make it move? Like, I mean, ever since he was born, he's always wanted to be an engineer. Like, everybody don't know what they want to be when they graduate high school.
Right.
Like, no one knows, but this kid has known from day one what he wanted to do, what he's good at, what he's great at. Okay, I'm trying to say both.
Oh,
So, like, it does take a village, you know, like, even though it was hard, you know, at times, like, you know, when Isaiah would go through his big manly things, and I'm no longer looking down, I'm looking up at him, like, "Who you talking to? Who you think you talking to?" Like, and then we'll call Mark, Kate, Isaiah, you need to, do something with this too, like, or my daddy will come in and, like, take, you know, because I'm not a man, right?
Right.
So, and I've heard that this whole time, like, you can't teach no man, you can't raise these boys to be a man. From a lot of people in our family, a lot of these men, and as a woman, like seeing my sister, Trey's mom, raise 3 boys as a single mom, you know, and then like, and Gail raised 3 boys as a single mom, like, so the men in our family thinking like, and I'm not saying we're men, like, even though we act like it, we know how to change tires and all that stuff. But like, it was hard because I used to have to fight with Trey. I had to fight with your husband, DeAndre, Jackson, my daddy, my brothers, uncles, whoever. Because I'm just like, dude, like, Isaiah, they didn't understand that he didn't know how to throw no football or kick. He didn't want to play any sports. And they didn't understand that because in our family, everybody goes D1.
he took out his Aunt Gail.
So as a man, he's the first man in our family that didn't give 2 F's about no sports.
He gave sports a try.
He tried it, he played soccer, he played basketball, but he's like, "I don't want to do it." And I had to argue with the men in my family for years. And then it took, like, when Isaiah was in 6th grade, you made the history bee. Like, the competition is like Jeopardy. He had to go to Wichita, Kansas. And that's when Trey, I remember Trey came to me and was like, "Okay, look, this dude is gifted. Like, this is a huge deal. This dude made the history bee. Like, he's traveling." So that's when they started realizing, like, okay, maybe there is something to this. Like, I tell my kids every day that we're the ones that's breaking generational curses in our family. And not that everything is cursed, but everyone makes it so far and no one goes further. And I told my boys, I'm like, we're not gonna be that, we're gonna be better. You know, like, okay. I'm trying not to cry. Okay. I know my boys, they don't never show any affection. So it's kind of like, and Milan and their sister's the same way. But I'm just like, we're gonna be better. Like Mark was saying, like, we want our kids to be better than us, you know? And I'm pushing for greatness. And ever since they were born, Mark started their LLC when they were like, I don't know, under 10. He was like, "No, we're gonna teach them business. We gotta teach them everything." Like, then I got them debit cards from Walmart. Now they're on my credit card, so now they have perfect credit. And I taught them everything. I teach them about the girls. And John, my friend that just spoke, me and him went to OSU together. So he's like our family best friend. So you remember the Jersey Chasers, the girls is looking for the athletes and the smart ones. And I tell them everything, and I remember when Kaden took a sex ed class, and I was like, what did you learn? And he's like, nothing, because I already knew everything, you tell me everything. So, and I was like, and I told Mark was like, yeah, that sounds like you, like.
Hey, you got to.
But I've been honest with my boys, like, from day one, like, you know, I don't want to get personal, but they know about everything, like, everything. I don't hide
Blue
nothing,
wave,
no words and
everything.
beads, like, this is what it is, and this is where it come from, and this is what it look like, no? But I'm telling them about the girls and everything, but Isaiah, as far as the word weird, like Isaiah said there's no such thing as nerds no more, they say the smart kids. I remember when Isaiah was, Mark, you remember when they wanted to test him? When he was 5, when we first moved back from St. Louis, he was 5 years old, and the school called us, Bixby School's like, we want to test him, is it okay if we test him? And it took us forever to decide, like, because Mark was like, no, they ain't gonna put no labels on my child and all of this. I'm like, but Bixby's a great school. If they want to test them, there's a reason. So they tested him, come to find out, you know, because they were like, he's not talking, can he talk? We're like, yeah, he can talk. Like, so they tested him, they said this kid is a borderline genius. They said that they wanted to put him up a grade, he was in gifted and talented, and so it reversed on him. So they were like, we've never seen a kid think the way this kid thinks. Like, he remembers things that no kid can remember. So, like at that time, it was like, so I went to Isaiah and I was like, Isaiah, your teacher said that you don't talk at school. Why don't you talk? And the first thing he said was, I don't go to school to talk. I go to school to learn. And he was in kindergarten. He was 5. He's like, I go to learn. And that's literally what he's been doing. Like, my sister Darty was saying, like, he's always in his room studying. He taught himself 5 languages, if not more by now, since like he was 9. He made up a language. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put you on the spot. He calls it Finnish, and I think he only taught 2 people this language. But who do y'all know that make up their own language? So Isaiah, say, "Mommy, I love you" in your Finnish language, real quick. Okay, see? No one knows what that is, right? But my late aunt, Aunt Sandra, who just passed away last year, she said that he needs to get that, like, the government needs to copyright that.
be a
So
linguist.
that they can learn to speak it, you know, like, it's just a lot of stuff. And as a mom, I knew I was gonna be longer because I like to brag a little bit.
That's what you're supposed to
But
do.
there's things like, you know, my daddy is 79, my mama's 81. Thank God, they still married 6 years.
Yay!
They have a different way of raising, and like I'm number 7 out of 8 kids, so I got the older version of the parents. Me and Janetta kind of got the late, no whoopings, no curfews, you know. But
Just
I turned out
do
great.
you.
My little brother, no, he turned out great. So, like, I'm like the same, I did the same type of parenting, and I remember my family giving me a hard time, like, you need to whoop these boys, they need to be getting more whoopings, you don't whoop them enough, and I'm just like, these ain't the type of kids that need whoopings, like, and I went to OSU, by the way, for child development, and I remember them saying there's no such thing as a bad child, and, timeouts do work for black kids, y'all, just to break
It
the
does.
stereotype.
It's called Safe Place.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I asked Isaiah this morning, do you remember that little, do y'all remember that little bar stool that I used to have with the timer on it? And I would twist it and he would go sit in timeout, and I'm like, when it dings, you can get up. Like Troy was saying, my kids were easy. Like, they were so easy. I had great kids. They did get some whoopings. And Kaden got one like last year. They did too. I said did too. They both did. So, Auntie Mama, she said she never whooped them. So the 5 whoopings they got in their whole life. And I think Milan said I'm the only one that's ever whooped her too. That's straight up. But they basically thought I was going easy on my kids, and you know, they have chores, but I'm not like really strict, okay? I'm not that strict parent. But I realized that the non-strict parents have the greatest kids. So when they're more open with their life or whatever. So, yeah, so what else do I need to say? What am I?
7:45.
Okay, yeah, I love you, of course.
We got 15 minutes.
And stay away from the girls.
Why is
You
that stay
know,
with the girls?
I've been telling them this every day.
Stay focused.
Read your paper.
Girls,
Because like I said,
The opposite
there's some
sex
things
is
out there that you
distraction.
can't get rid of, and you don't want to be that
I know.
person. I told my youngest son that, I mean, what 13 or 14-year-old do you know that look like him, that's built like him? Sometimes there's envy out there. They can slip stuff in your drinks. You know, they can do anything to try to damage what y'all have going for yourselves. Like Mark was saying, that y'all are great, and we speak greatness into y'all all the time. I wrote it on y'all's door. I am the power of I am. You know, just because other people might say you're weird or you're lazy or you're this and or whatever, I always had to go back and brainwash my kids. Like, this is the hardest thing.
Okay.
But, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But, like, mental, like, me and my boys wrote a book in 2019 called Single Moms Can Do It Too. And in my book, I was talking about, like, okay, no, we can't teach boys how to be men, because we're not men, right? I can't teach you how to pee and aim, okay? I get it. But what I have taught them is, like, values, and I'm in their head mentally. Like, my little brother James was like, man, you got them trained. Man, your boys are trained. And that, to me, that's more powerful than anything. Like, my daddy taught them how to change tires and train them, taught them how to check oils and change oils and stuff like that. But of course, I can't do that. But what I put in them mentally, like, anytime someone says anything negative, I would always, like, have to stay strong, and I couldn't cry. Because they don't cry. Like, look at them. Like, they just looking at me like, hurry up. But they don't cry.
You're
So I'm
me,
crying
Mom.
in the inside. Because I'm just like, no, you're not this. No, you're amazing. You're a champion. You're a great athlete. Like, you're not lazy. Like, you're just tired sometimes, but you'll get to it. And you know how to do this. Like, so I would always have to do that. We would have to get in our car and go drive away. And I'm just brainwashing them. Like, literally, I'm re-brainwashing my kids. Like, whatever you're hearing, like Mark and Troy was saying, don't let anyone else's opinion of you to determine who you are. Because you know who you are. Because I've been instilling that into y'all from day one. And y'all know that. Like, I'm y'all's biggest cheerleader, for real. And, and don't ever, like, allow other people to put their fears on you. Just because they didn't pass. Or just because they think this class is hard, or this sport is hard, or whatever.
Right.
That's their fear. Don't let them put their fears on you, Isaiah. And just stay strong. Isaiah is just like me. He has a mind of his own. Like my nephew Trey, because Isaiah was either going to go to TU or OSU. He only applied at those two colleges, got accepted into both.
Wow.
Everybody knows that TU is the private school. It was double, like triple the cost of OSU.
Right.
He had a full ride to both of them, academically.
Wow.
And I heard that he's the first black male ever in Bixby history ever to get a full ride in academics. So let's clap for that. He's setting that standard. Like, black men don't have to kick a ball and throw one. And
Absolutely.
to go to school.
Amen.
And you don't have to change tires if you have enough money. Just
And that I want to say, because the men in our family, the men in my family,
Still need to know how though.
they love
Yeah.
me. That's what I'm saying. The men in my
You
family.
better know how.
My daddy said I should have been a boy. Troy, my twin cousins, he says I should have been a boy because every time they keep
they said I
saying,
should have been a boy.
that's what I'm saying. We know how to change
Hey,
tires.
listen.
But they were saying that the other day, like, cause they were like, man, this kid ain't gonna never have to, cause my daddy's old school. Like, they gonna need to learn how to cut wood and they gonna need to learn how to, do this and do that. Like, it's old school stuff. And then Troy was like, but
Yeah.
Uncle Jackie, like, they gonna make so much money. They gonna hire people to do this stuff. Like, they're
We're
gonna.
green energy, so don't worry about it.
Just don't.
But at the same time, that's when I started having an open mind. Like, wait, these men are saying some value. Like, I can't just shut them down every time they say something to my kids. So I started listening. And I was like, yeah, but at the same time, I told my boys, I do want y'all to learn how to change tires and oils and
Right.
learn how to cut wood. Like, money's not gonna always be there. I mean, it is. I'm speaking that in existence in the name of Jesus. It's gonna be there for generations to come. And it's gonna start with us, our family. We're gonna definitely break these curses. But you're still gonna have to learn how to survive. And Daddy says that all the time. He always says, be a finisher and learn how to survive. Papa Penny said that he's the first in his family to set the standard high to get a master's. Did you get a master's, Papa Penny? Yeah.
Hey,
He's the
go
first
ahead,
one to college,
Papa.
got a degree, and I heard him telling his grandson, like, I want you to be better than me. Like, this is the
Absolutely.
standard that I set. This is his first grandson ever. These are the only two kids that Papa Penny have. He only has a boy and a girl. Spoiled. They used to go to Disneyland all the time. Grew up very successful. And like I was telling Isaiah, I was like, do you realize you're the first grandson, Penny? Like, that name is powerful, and you're a man. You got to carry on this name. You got to worry about your reputation. You know what I'm saying? Like your character, your integrity. You got to carry that name on, because when Papa Penny is gone, which would break my heart, then Mark, and then it's you. Yeah, it's gonna be a long time, and that don't happen over here, and then it's Kaden. Like, y'all's names are very powerful, and it's important to to represent, you know what I'm saying? They're the only grandkids, they have one sister, so it's like two grandsons and then one granddaughter, and Milana's amazing too, that's my baby, and I'm sad that she's not here right now. But, I don't know, like, that's all I just wanted to say, like, but I tell my boys this every day, you know, like, watch your credit, don't let nobody mess your credit up and mess your cars up, and, you know, and it takes a village, cause I didn't do everything by myself, you know, I'm making phone calls to Mark in St. Louis, I call Papa Penny, obviously my family that's here is always here in 5 seconds. Trey used to have to check me sometimes, like, nah, they need to work, they need to get their hands dirty. I'm like, no, you're working too hard. Trey's like, man, let us do this, auntie, I got it, like, and it was just hard for me to just let go, but I'm like, okay, I trust my nephew, I raised him pretty much, you know? So it's just like, it was hard, but I finally started letting them go, cause I trust the men that they have, you know, like in their circle, and it's a good thing. My boys are getting so many compliments in Bixby, anywhere, because my daddy taught them from day one, like when you shake a hand, shake my hand. He said, you know, you don't barely shake hands like that. You know, you shake the hand, you look them in the eye, and you grab it. So everywhere we go, they get compliments on their handshakes. They help people, old ladies carry their groceries, you know, to the car, you know, like, and it's setting a good example for us to be like the minority, you know what I'm saying, in Bixby, and ain't that many of us.
Right.
So to see like little black boys carrying these old white ladies' groceries to the car, they're just so impressed with my sons. And they have a great reputation in Bixby, and I'm very proud of that. And of course, Trey set the standard. My sister was setting standards. I set standards, the one before me. So we just want to keep it going. But I just want to say thank you to everybody, because I didn't do it by myself, and they were easy, like Troy said. Like I don't. That one though, no, that's fine.
All right.
Them little girls be all over that one. And they gonna be all over YouTube. When you did that test and you tested on Bill Gates level, they pay attention to that too. So, anyway, I just wanna say, Isaiah, we talk every day, so you already know how I feel. And I told you I was gonna come on campus. I'm gonna blend in with the girls. Hayden's gonna look older, I'm gonna look younger, and we're gonna come party with you. John, he probably still partying there with you. No, I'm just playing.
I just wanna